Good day, good morning, and good evening, Commanders. Today, we'll be diving into Hesse, a map that has been requested for some time. As always, if you enjoy this video, please leave a like down below and consider subscribing. It helps me out a lot, and I'd really appreciate it. Pause. Before we get into the video, I just wanted to say that I've made my own Discord community server and partnered with lots of pros and content creators. If you have any unanswered questions about WARNO or would just like to play and learn the game alongside us, come and pay us a visit. The link is down in the description. Hope to see you there, Commanders. Without further ado, let's get on with the video. So this was a game that I uploaded a video on where I played it basically during the video. It's me on second SAS versus Homelander on second SAS, and today we are analyzing Hesse basically. So Hesse is a weird map, and it's disliked by the community by a lot in the community because it usually leads to 40-minute games. Simply because these zones are just so far away from each other. Like if you're trying from X-Ray to get to Zulu, you have to cross this massive open field. Same applies to Zulu to X-Ray. If you're trying to get from Lima to Echo, again, massive advancements need to be made. And even from Lima here to get into Echo, there's just no cover in Echo. It's just an open zone straight up in the middle of the map. It's just a field, and there's nothing. Like, you can smoke it off, you could put a CV here, but like, come on, you know. And going from Alpha to November is even further of a distance. So usually, yes, usually games on Hesse last 40 minutes. Um, and they tick very slowly. So all of these points, because you can only practically get into one, they all tick 1 point. So it's like a Black Forest, but worse, because Black Forest at least is like all the zones are in the middle, contested, so it's easier to kick someone out of the zone. Whereas the zones are like on Hesse here, the zones are so far back, and there's hardly like any way to really make this a quick game. Now, in my opinion, what you want to focus on in Hesse is generally I do not go for this. I think it's too hard to push into again because there is simply just no cover into Echo. Like once you get into Echo, you can kind of just sit here, and if you got this, you can kind of sit there. But again, putting a CV in Echo is troublesome, and it does not end up in the best of ways for Blue here. Now, November is something that I do like to attack because once you do get into it, you can actually put a CV, and then you can actually have a little town fight. You have this as well, you have this as well to fight for, and it's a really nice fight that ends up happening over here. So I really like going for November. I feel like it makes things easier. There's an actual spot to put a CV there as well. And I like focusing on Zulu. So in my opinion, you'll see me, as you can see, there's nothing down the middle road except for a gazelle searching if my enemy is putting down anything down the middle road. So the plan of action for Blue here would be to attack across this, and try to attack across this over here. Now, all of them basically carry the same weight. I would say all of them carry the same weight. I would say that actually the farthest to the right carries the least amount of weight, but I do know players who really like stacking this and just basically just stack that and then go from there to Zulu, which is completely valid. And as you can see, I do that here as well. I'm going to the right, far right, and then I'm rotating to the left, but I'm also pushing this, and I also try to push this. As you can see, I've placed down a Mot Airmobile and a Warrior Milan squad. But as you can see, Homelander here is coming down real hard on the left, and we have to make a defense for that. But he's allowed me into the he's allowed me into the rest of the map, and this is a mistake because on Hesse, it is a hard map to win fast on, but if you leave this open, it's really easy to traverse. It is incredibly easy to traverse on Hesse. So you cannot leave this open. Now, why Blue can leave the middle open for Red is because, well, mostly if you're going as Blue to here, and to here, If red is coming down here, if you think about it, if you went up here, you can kind of rotate into red, and red just has kind of like no play there. If red isn't careful, red is gonna get encircled, and then red is gonna get destroyed, kicked out of Lima, and blue will just have map control. So as you can see, Homelander has stacked the left, and I need to defend it. But I have won over the rest of the map because I'm playing wide. So the idea, and now Homelander has to rotate units to deal with the issues that I've made up here. So for blue, I'd say the best roads, the best roads that I like to use is generally I like to go down this road here, like this. I like to go down this road, and I like to go down this road as well, and then go around like this. These are the roads I like to use. Sometimes coming down here as well is possible. It is a possibility. It's definitely not out. But I don't like just coming straight down the middle. I'd prefer if, you could attack a bit more to the sides, and then from the sides attack more inward. Because, like, if you come down here, you're just gonna get blasted by everything in front of you. And now for red, what I like to do for red is basically the same, but it's a bit different. As red, I don't like going for all of this. As red, personally, I go for this, like this, and I play for this and this, like this. And then I hold this, and if blue is trying to push, blue will die if you're doing this. And blue, if blue tries to push up here as well, you're the one in cover. Blue is not. Blue has to go. Blue has to go here first, and then can fight you. So that's kind of the way. That's kind of the way that red likes to stack. In generally, as red, like going like this, and then pushing later from this red position up to here, and then from here to there, and here to there, and then you've kind of secured everything else you need to just keep pushing blue out of that zone, basically. Now, as red, I also do like to I put just one unit down here just to see if blue is stacking the middle down there. And as red, I do like to go again for the far red's far right here, blue's left, like Homelander did, but not in the same intensity. Homelander or red went for the far right too much, invested too much, and left the flanks of the map completely open. And now he's getting punished for it. I mean, he does outnumber me, and he does have the better units here, but that doesn't matter because again, these are my opener points. These were points spent in my deployment. This is definitely not units that Homelander bought in the deployment. I mean, yes, some were rotated. Some were rotated from here. So yes, some of them are units from the opener, but most of them aren't. And as you can see, he's yet again spending another tick dealing with the problems that I've created on the right side here. And as you can see, while he's spending all these valuable resources retaking his spawn points, his entire mass push on the left has now been destroyed. And now since I notice that he's putting in lots of points over here, I decide, okay, well, I'm just gonna pick all my units up and I'm gonna send them forward into the zone that I know you have nothing at. Well, to be fair, I don't know if he has nothing. That's why I send the Hell Arms out first to just check if, well, the helicopters out first to check for the Warrior Melans. And as you can see, I do end up getting in November, and I end up making a big problem for him. And my opener units are still stalling off his bought ones. My units that I bought in the deployment are still heavily stalling him, and he has to spend resources in kicking me out. So that's basically why, as blue and red, you still want to play for the entire map. You can't just decide, I'm gonna go down one road, because on Hesse, you're gonna get punished for that. You're gonna get hard punished, and you're gonna get hard outmaneuvered, and there's nothing you're gonna be able to do. Absolutely nothing. So, as both sides here, you have to play wide, and both sides basically want to get. Well, both sides want to get this forest early because it kind of dictates the entire. It kind of dictates the entire like fight for the middle in general. Red gets this. Blue gets basically this and this. Blue gets this and this. Red gets this, and basically this. So this is how you want it to go. And now, while everyone is busy pushing into each other here on the left for red, you also want to be attacking the right because you don't want to leave it. You don't want to leave it open, but so you want to stack like half to the left, half to the right. That's what you want to do. Now, of course, there are some variations of play. I've seen players multiple times stack all their units down here, as for example red. So I'll change to red arrows. That's my mistake. As red here, they just stack this, and then they rotate around like this. This is completely fine. However, again, it leaves you open for the rest of the map. And realistically, red's push here, it cannot be countered, but like you have defensive positions that will slow down red's push long enough for blue to punish red for stacking all his troops right there. Now, again, blue can do the same thing, and blue can also, with his full force, stack the right here. Now it's changed, and then rotate in, which is, again, it's fine, but again, red has positions that will slow you down infinitely. They will bog you down. They have lots of cover to retreat to. And then it's kind of hard to constantly break through this without running out of steam. So you need to attack. You need to attack everywhere. You need to be everywhere, and that's how you want to do it. And then whatever attack doesn't work out, the others will, right? The others will pay off because your enemy can't be everywhere. They can, but you'll win somewhere because somewhere you are more stacked than your enemy. And wherever you are more stacked than the enemy, you want to recognize that. And the way you'll recognize it is by, like I say, always, is start with 2 recon helicopters. The 2 recon helicopter strat is really, really good. Suiciding them, straight up just sending them into the enemy to spot what they have early on. It will give you an idea of where they're bluffing with their units and where they are actually going. And by starting with the 2 recon helicopters in this game, I was able to identify that Homelander had absolutely nothing here. All of his units were on the left. And that's how I knew, alright, because I'm playing wide, I've put basically an identical amount of units everywhere. Because I've put an identical amount of units everywhere, and he put all of them in one place. Yes, he's gonna win on the left, but I'm gonna win everywhere else. And that's where he's gonna have problems. And exactly that happened. I won everywhere else. He had to divert resources. While I was still fighting with my deployed units from the opener. I pushed the left, and there's just nothing he can do. There is just simply nothing he can do. More variations of play include blue trying to rush this city, basically here. And I'd say that's fine, but I don't really agree with it because there's lots of ways that I've been pushed in that city before. I was playing red, blue has pushed me in the city. But again, because you're going like this and you're ignoring kind of the center, as soon as they push into the center, you can kind of go around them, right? And you can kind of encircle them and cut them off everywhere. So this is what I do against Blue's attempts to take this city. So usually, whenever I do see it, it's pretty easy to counter. You just kind of go around it. You ignore the problems that they are creating in the city because usually people don't go with tanks into cities, right? So if they are stacking this, it's usually mostly infantry. Infantry is not capable of punishing bad maneuvers. So if I make a bad maneuver somewhere, I don't know, in the middle or something, this infantry cannot push up that much to take advantage of it, because it's gonna get caught out in the open, and then it's gonna get countered. So infantry cannot punish bad maneuvers, whereas vehicles can. If he's left something open, I can push it. I can probe it, push it with a Saxon, very easy, or a warrior Milan. It's very simple. So You have to think about your vehicles as your cavalry, as your tanks. Well, they're not really tanks, but they're vehicles. They're fast, they're light, they can move. Use them like that. Because if you don't, you're not going to be taking the opportunities that you need to be taking. There's a lot of opportunities in WARNO games where people are just not taking them, and that's making it so that they don't win as fast as they potentially could be winning. As you can see, as soon, the same minute I saw Homelander stack on the left, I immediately went go, go, go on the right, took everything, took Echo, took Zulu, and then while he was busy diverting resources, straight up turned around, was investing into Alpha, took back Alpha, pushed November, and now I'm in complete control of the map. I'm in complete control because I hold all the spots that are important for play. I hold basically this. I hold this. I hold this. I hold this. I hold this partially, which means I'm in control of this zone basically. If you take a look at the left, I hold this. I hold this. I hold this, which means again I am in control of the zone. So for red here, to control our zones, he needs to take this, 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 possibly this, but well, actually this for sure. Maybe up here, but you don't really have to. So basically this, 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 and this. This is what red has to hold in order to be in control over blue's zone. And that's why those positions are key to take early on in the game. Another thing I love to do as red is usually our minds subconsciously make front lines. So if you take a look at what like blue's front line subconsciously will be made, it will be around here, right? So no one generally puts an FD unit with AT in this house. No one generally does that. So I love pushing that as red, basically. That can give you some early advantage. If this video helped you in any way, please consider liking and subscribing. It helped me out a lot, and I'd really appreciate it. See you in the next video, Commanders.